Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Tangled Books. My name is Yari and today I have a little book haul for you guys. So this is just the books I've accumulated January and I guess the first week of February, because one of them came out yesterday. Yeah, so I'm just gonna share with you guys the books I've gotten the past like month and a week. Okay, yeah, so let's just hop right into it. Okay, so the first book that I got in January, I forgot what I was getting. I was at Target, I was getting something, went to the book section, found this book and thought this seems interesting, so I decided to pick it up. And that book is Blood Heir by Emily Wenzel. I have no idea, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, but yes, this is what I got. So I'll just read you what it says in the back. Honestly, I don't remember. Well, most of these I don't remember the synopsis. I just remember reading it and thinking, oh, that sounds interesting, so I'm gonna pick it up. But in the back of this, it just says, a princess with a deadly gift, a con man with no past and no future, an empire spiraling into chaos. It's time to choose a side. Like I said, I don't really remember the full synopsis of this, but I do remember I read it when I was at Target and it intrigued me, so I picked it up. I'm gonna put down links to all these books down below so you can click on those links and read an actual full description of these books, because like I said, a lot of them I bought them like a few weeks ago, so I don't remember the full synopsis. So yeah, so that's the first book. Then the second book I went to Barnes & Noble with Carleni and I decided to get a book. And again, I don't remember the synopsis. I don't really remember the synopsis. But the book that I got is A Queen in Hiding. This is the first book in the 9 Realms series. And what's interesting about this series is that this book came out in January and there's gonna be 4 books total, and like the second book is coming out this month, the third will come out in March, and then the last one will come out in April. So you'll be able to like pretty much binge read it like pretty easily because it's literally coming out 1 month after the other, which I've never seen a book like that. But when I was looking it up on Goodreads, somebody said that there was another series like that where each book came out 1 month after the other. I can't remember which series it was, but this is the first time I've seen this and I think it's interesting. Also, this is an adult fantasy and it's about a queen in hiding. Okay, this has a short synopsis in the back, so I'll read that. So it just says, orphaned, exiled, and hunted. I don't know how to pronounce. Cerelia Princelia of Rurendale must master the magic that is her birthright, become a ruthless guerrilla fighter, and transform into the queen she is destined to be. But to do it, she must win the favor of the spirits who play in mortal affairs, assemble an unlikely group of rebels, and risk the throne from a corrupt aristocracy whose rot has spread throughout her kingdom. So yeah, there's something interesting. I've been wanting to read more adult fantasy, and I tend to lean towards more books that our main protagonist is female, so that's why I haven't really read a lot of adult fantasy, because usually I feel like most adult fantasies are written by men and they tend to write from a male perspective, so the main character being male. But I prefer to read about females, like main character females, just because I like to see like women being badasses and just like, you know, doing their thing. And even in like contemporary, I just like women like doing, you know, doing their thing, being just being awesome, being badasses. So that's why I tend to lean toward female protagonists. And that's why I've read mostly YA fantasy, because usually in YA fantasy most of the books are written by women, and they write from a protagonist that is female. So that's why I tend to read more of that. But I'm trying to find more like this where the protagonist is a female, because that's what I tend to lean towards. Okay, so I'm editing this video. Please ignore all this. I feel like some of the things I'm saying isn't making sense. Basically what I was trying to say is that I like reading books from that the main character is a woman, because since I am a woman, I just like to read like either like in a fantasy, like a female character like standing her own ground and not depending on a guy. And then in like contemporary, like I like, or like even like TV shows, I like seeing a female like being successful in their field, or just like, again, not depending on a man, and just, you know, seeing like everyday like female struggles, and also like I said, being successful in what they do. I feel like that is encouraging. Yeah, I hope this makes sense. So that's what I was trying to say. But yeah, I'm super excited to read this, and hopefully I like it and continue on with the series. The next book that I got was part of the book of the month YA. So Carleni got me for Christmas 3 months, like a gift card for 3 months. So this is the first book that I chose, and that is Woven in Moonlight by Isabel Avenes. So yes, this is the book. I lean toward this one as a choice. It's a debut, and she's Bolivian, so it's like a Latin X. I don't know if it's Latin X rep. Yeah, so like what's cool, first off, they with the book of the month gave you a bookmark. It's just if it will focus, just this book of the month YA. But what is so cool about this is, you know, it's a Latinx inspired book, and I found it so cool that the chapters, it says capítulo 1, and all the chapters are like titled like that. I don't know why. I found that cool. Yeah, but so yeah, I want to read more like Hispanic Latin rep, so this is one of those. Yeah, this is my first book of the month, so it's so cool. Like, it has the little book of the month thing here. So it says it in the back. It says Jan 2020, and then it also has it here, and it's just January 2020. And then this is book of the month here as well, if it will focus. Yeah, I'm excited to read this. Like I said, I'm trying to read more like Hispanic more from Hispanic authors. And it's cool because this is fantasy, and I love fantasy. So, and I feel like most like Hispanic writers write more in the contemporary area, and I do read contemporary but not a lot, so I'm excited to see some Hispanic rep in fantasy. Now the next book that I got, I ordered it from Amazon. I got like a Prime for a month free. That's the word I was looking for. So I've been wanting this book for a while, so I bit the bullet and finally got it, and I'm super excited. Again, I don't remember. I didn't even see what that's about. Again, I don't really remember what this is about, but I've read the synopsis like 3 separate times. like I said, I've been wanting this book for a while, so I read the synopsis like 3 other times, and each time I'm like, yes, I'm intrigued, I want to read this. And that is There Will Come a Darkness by Katie Rose Poole. So I heard about this book from Madison Mary from Princess of Paperbacks. I can't talk today. Yeah, and she was like, last year in 2019, she was like raving about it when she read it. She really liked it. And then when I read the synopsis, I was like, I'm intrigued. Sounds interesting. Sounds like my kind of book. So I've been wanting to read it for a while. So this also has a short synopsis, so I'll just read it to you guys, because again, don't remember the synopsis. First it says, the deceiver ensnares the world with lies. The death's pale hand the wicked fall. That which sleeps in the dust shall rise, and in their wake will come a darkness. And it says, for generations the 7 prophets used their visions of the future to end wars and unite nations, until the day 100 years ago when they disappeared. All they left behind was one final secret prophecy, foretelling the age of darkness and the birth of a new prophet who could be the world's salvation or the cause of its destruction. With chaos on the horizon, 5 lives are set on a collision course. A prince exiled from his kingdom, a ruthless killer known as the Pale Hand, a once faithful leader torn between his duty and his heart, a reckless gambler with the power to find anything or anyone, and a dying girl on the verge of giving up. One of them, or all of them, could break the world. Would it be savior or destroyer? So yeah, that's the synopsis. Sounds really interesting. Sounds really dark. I'm so excited to read this. I'm not sure when I'm gonna read it, but I'm excited to read it. Yes, I really hope I like it. I feel like I am. It's fantasy. There's a prince involved. I love things about like fantasies where they involve royalty. So yes, that's another book I picked up. And the last books that I picked up was in one order, and I pre-ordered this in January. It came out yesterday, and if you want to see my reaction to unboxing this, I'm gonna link up here in the card my vlog. Hopefully that went up. I'm not sure which is going up first. I think that might go up first. Okay, so yes, I'll link it up here so you can check it out and see my raw emotions and feelings and thoughts on these books, because I unboxed it in a vlog. And the books I'm talking about are the new paperback editions of the Lunar Chronicles. The Lunar Chronicles is one of my favorite series. So when these new paperbacks came out and I saw how pretty they were, I was like, I have to get them. So here they are, and they're full on glory. So there's of course the first book, Cinder, and the second book, Scarlet. Third book, and my favorite book in the series, Cress. And the final book in the series, Winter. So yeah, if you don't know, Cinder is set in the future, and the easy way to describe this is it's a Cinderella retelling, and Cinderella here, Cinder, is a cyborg. Yeah, that's like the really short synopsis, but there's so much more to the series. There's so much more to this book alone. There's so much going on. This is sci-fi, and honestly, when I first heard about this book, first off, I love Disney, so I love fairy tales, and when I first heard this was a retelling, I was like, oh, that's interesting. But then I heard it's cyborg and it's sci-fi, and I was like, no thank you. But then my friend Carleni, she picked it up and she was like, yeah, it's pretty good. So I was like, you know what, I'll give it a chance, because I love fairy tales. And I'm so glad I picked it up, because I not really flew. I read them all pretty much the same year. The year that winter came out. That's the year that I started the series, and I'm so glad I did it because I absolutely love this series. So again, this is a retelling of, or reimagining of, Cinderella. And the second one is a retelling of Little Red Riding Hood. Third one is a retelling of Rapunzel, and the last one is a retelling of Snow White. So yep, I'm so glad I picked up these copies because they're so pretty, and it's one of my favorite series. And if you're a little bit iffy about sci-fi, but you do like fairy tale stories, like retellings, pick these up because I was pleasantly surprised at how much I love these books. So yeah, so those are all the books that I picked up in January and the first week of February. So all of these, but I was hoping that they will have these, the Loner Chronicles, the new paperbacks, in a box set, but you do have to buy them individually, so that's a bit of a bummer. But I bit the bullet anyways and got them. So yes, I'm so glad I did because they're beautiful. So yes, I'm just gonna hold these. If you like this video, please give it a like so you can know what kind of videos to post on here. And so my camera overheated, so I'm just gonna end this here. So like I said, like this video if you enjoyed it, so I can know what kind of videos to post on here. Subscribe to become a member of a little family here on Tangled Books, and I'll catch you guys here next time on Tangled Books. Bye.